Hello.
Hi.
We sadly do not have the green background, which I'm very, very sad about. But I'm not paying for the new prices of StreamYard because no.
I
But
also do not have it, so I could not have given you my login either.
it's good. It's all good. It's not the end of the world, is it?
No,
Um,
absolutely not.
hello, welcome. Apologies now. I've had a date, so we have wine.
I
I'm not.
just have a very big bottle of Tango. And I forgot a glass, so you're going to be seeing me drinking it from the bottle because I'm not going back downstairs for one.
I don't care. So hello, we are here to discuss this behemoth, which I finished about an hour ago.
Fair.
I finished it.
You did.
I'm just saying. Hello. Hello. I'm also going to say I'm having a bit of a time. So, alcohol, this book, and trauma does not make a good mixture. So, if I'm a bit incoherent today, I do apologize. But it's all good. It's all good. It's a really big book.
Yeah. I devoured most of it yesterday, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, I did the same. I did the same.
I think
So,
Vicky and me were both about here yesterday, and we read all of this, and we both started on Becca's sprints, and then I think they finished it like half an hour before me.
nice. Nice. So let's start with star rating. What did we rate it? 5. Nice, nice.
5 stars.
Yeah, same.
I was
Um,
gonna say 5 flames, and then I was like, that's not the word you're looking for.
I mean, but also spice wise.
Yeah.
Like Jesus Christ, what was really?
Yeah.
I say funny, and I don't mean funny, haha. I mean funny. Oh my god, it was a bit traumatizing. Because I knew I needed to finish it, and I had about 3 and a bit hours left this morning. I listened to some of it in the car on the way to work, and paused in the middle of a sex scene because I was like, "I'm late. I need to run into work." Did
Yep.
not think. Was stressed out to high heaven. Put my headphones in and went to fill up the water on a pot noodle, and suddenly was just in the midst of some fucking.
I mean, there was a lot of it in this book. It's
So
funny
fuck.
because you and Becca had messaged me saying that this was adult in comparison to the rest. And I said to Vicky, I think it was like Tuesday or Wednesday last week, because the pair of us hadn't started it. And we were both like, right, come on. The pair of us need to just get our ass in gear and go. And I was like, yeah, they said this was adult. And they were like, did you read the scenes that I read before? And I'm like, I know, but apparently there's a difference. I was like, I don't know what that difference is. About 10 pages in, the pair was like, this is the difference. I was like, it's non-stop in this. I was like, even if they're not having sex, they're thinking about it, or they're dreaming about it, or they're thinking about stuff they've had, or what they're gonna do. I was like, oh,
I
okay, so this is smut with plot rather than plot with smut. Got it.
Yeah, I think one of the best things is like Sarah J. Maas is the fairy porn queen. Um, and with this one, I think she turned around after getting called out for writing fairy porn, and she was like, "You want fairy porn? I'm going to give you fucking fairy porn." And like,
Yeah, she kind of raised the bar. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
There was a lot of it. And at one point, so my car automatically connects to my phone, and I went down. Thankfully, on the way to pick up my dad on Saturday, I drive from my house down to him's or to pick him up. So I was like, right, make sure this doesn't start. Put on Spotify, and then on the way from when we both got in the car at my grand's, though, I was like, right, Spotify. I was like, do not start, because sometimes it goes to Spotify, which is the last thing I'd listen to, and sometimes it can automatically go to like audiobooks, and I'm like, you better fucking not, because I can't remember where I left you, because I hadn't read it from the night before. I was like, oh my god, do not. But then I listened to it on the way in the road, and I was literally like, I think that was like 40 minutes of very little.
one thing, and I'm going to say this straight away. Spoilers ahead. Um,
Yes,
one thing
masses.
I see what you did there. The one thing that I
I
will
didn't
say
even
about this,
notice.
the one thing I will say about this book, um, is We got fucking robbed. And I'm going to start with this because this is something that I want you to rage with us, because whilst I am not like, the smut was good, but it's not my favorite smut anymore. I got a girlfriend and now I don't know if I'm fully gay or not. Is essentially what's happening. But what we have found out that there was, you can tell I've had a drink. I do apologize, guys. We almost had a scene that was a threesome with Nesta, Cassian, and Asriel.
Yep.
And the editors took it out.
Was it actually there?
She wrote it. She's wrote it. And it isn't even
Why?
like,
Why wasn't that the bonus chapter? Vicky gave me
we,
links to them. Excuse me.
I know. We all think it. We all, right. I'm just gonna go through some comments because we have
Also, guys, I can look at the comments today.
yeah,
I'm up
you
to date with a series. I almost dropped my book.
Emotionally fave. This overtook Aftermath as my favorite series.
I love
will
Nesta. Yeah, same back.
Same. Yeah, this book was interesting. I know what you're gonna say. OMG, I know, robbed. Look, as much as like I'm not gonna lie, some of the scenes in this book gave me the ick. The fact that like there was so much conversation about Nesta wanting his seed inside her. Like, I'm sorry, I know that dude's got a big dong, but like I don't need to know about just how much sperm he's got. Like, it was actually grim.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
So same. Oh, this feels like such a weird conversation to put out there, but I'm going to say it anyway because this book made me think of it, right? So, yes, based on this comment, Becca. So, Andy obviously has a wonderful wife. And me, Vicky, and Andy were having a conversation at one point about men and the after effects of sex and having to pee and this, that, and the next thing. All of that kind of jazz. Exactly that face came on Kay's face because she is lesbian, has never been with anyone male, and literally had this whole like, oh my god, like eye-opening moment. And this book just kept making me think of Kay's disgust at the conversation we'd had at Andy's, and I was like,
I think
yeah,
this is the
men
thing,
are
because when I
it's
read
weird.
this the first time, I was very like young in my smut era. I wasn't reading a lot of smutty books, but also I was not in any form of relationship. I'd never been in a relationship. I was I genuinely had wonder, like I was wondering if I was ace. So like I was very much like, yeah, this is fine. This is fine. And then like now being in like a pretty heavy relationship with like a woman, and heavy in like we've been together for quite a while now. I'm like, no. I was literally talking about this to Becca. I was like, it doesn't hit the same. It doesn't hit the same. I'm not saying it's bad, and I'm not saying that I don't
Yeah.
like, but
I
I'm just there
do
was
you know
too
do you
much
remember
conversation.
like having that like ebb and flow between reading like traditionally published stuff and then finding like a dip of something on AO3, and like you'd go through like all the crap of the year in like a week, and then you'd be like, right, okay, now I need actually like something with proper like punctuation and plot because I've like done that. That's what this felt like, but it was like, here's the smart, oh no, here's your plot, here's your smart, here's your
I
and it was like, okay, I can deal with this. This is like a mix of like both, but there was a lot.
yeah, there
And I
was a
mean,
lot.
that's coming from me. So we know there's a lot.
Yeah. So we've talked about the smoke. We've talked about
Yeah. See,
well,
to be fair, like the stuff in this didn't do anything. Like it didn't make me go, "Oh, that's too much" or "That's not enough." It was fine. More the fact it was from audio because I'm so used to AO3 just being me eyeball reading, where this was audio, and the audio narrator for this, Stella, was amazing. That was the first time I think I'd ever heard her like read
I
books.
think the other thing is, like, honestly, um like the smut is not anything like, it's pretty vanilla. It's pretty vanilla. Like it's
Add in some wings.
there's a lot of it. I am
Yeah.
very, very curious, and we can talk about this because um Sarah J. Maas has said that Azrael, and we know we're getting an Azrael book at some point. She has
Cannot
said that
wait.
he is filthy.
I can imagine that.
I am so curious to what this is. Yeah, she has said that he is like, yeah. I'm very interested to see what that's going to be. But shall we talk about plot, because we've talked about porn? Let's talk about plot.
I did have both, to be fair.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I feel like part of the kind of bridging that like gap, I feel like us already knowing Nesta and Cassian from the past 4 books and wanting more of her headspace and what's going on and why she is as grumpy as she is, considering up to the war. Okay, she was always grumpy, but like they worked together in the war. Like we had them, they felt like more of a unit, and
Yeah.
then something happened and like everything was falling apart in the last book.
Yeah.
And like getting that ability to realize why and what has gone on in her head, because I mean you can guesstimate, you can figure out shit's happened, but like you're never gonna fully get it until you read like the stuff that doesn't get said.
Yeah, I think this is one of the reasons that I really, really enjoy this. Um, yeah,
This
yeah. Um, I think that's one of the things about this book that I enjoyed, but I do kind of I agree with Vicky in the sense of it is a lot of like smut, 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 smut. But, oh fuck, here's the plot. Um, I feel as if like she did feel as if she had like a necessity to prove she was that writer, and that she had like the crown for fairy porn.
yeah.
Um, how many times can you say porn in one life?
A lot. Here's
Yeah.
the, we won't tally it. The other part of me wonders if it was a way to write Nesta craving Cassian without having her realize that they were mated.
I think so. I also think that because it was like,
Also, thank fuck. If that had not come about, I was gonna literally throw the book across the room because it hadn't. It was like here, and I wasn't there. We'd had a lot of sex, and I was like, "You better fucking pull through." I was like,
um, but yeah, I think the majority of the plot was great, apart from like it did feel very scattered, especially in within like a lot of sex, which like I'm not mad about. I'm not mad about it, but there was times where I was like, I like they're really like fucking like really going at it. Um, yeah, yeah. But the plot is kind of a little bit basic. Yeah, this as well. Yeah. Um, I think one thing that I didn't love about this plot, like, don't get me wrong, it's still 5 stars. It's still a really, really good book. It felt very much like um she got an idea for something after the main trilogy was done, and she was like, okay, cool, how do I make this come to life? And so she added more stress to them, which, yeah, I get, but also, what, these people have gone through enough. Why are
"They've
you
gone through
hurting
hell."
them? Like, I don't, you don't need to hurt them more. Um, but yeah, so obviously we start. I'm going to try and pull it back again. Apologies, guys, slightly tipsy. So we start off with Nesta kind of fucking about, and she finds out. Let's
Yep.
put it that way. And they pull her into the conversation about essentially, we're cutting you off. You're going to do this. You don't get a choice. Um,
Or you
and
can run the stairs. By the way, can I just say the fact that my knees are my worst pain, the thought of climbing 10 or descending 10,000 stairs, and the fact that dizziness is my biggest thing for my ears, going round and round every time it was described. Now, I love Sarah J. Maas. You guys have figured this by now. We are much of our books in. But her repetition of things 3 times, is probably my least favorite thing of hers. And the fact that every time she was running down the stairs and she kept saying and round and around and around, I was like, bitch, that's enough to make me dizzy. Stop.
No.
I was like, I know it's because I sped up as well. So like the round and around and around was faster for my like headphones.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh my God. But yeah, the fact like you give me in front of that and I'm just like, okay, I will make myself happy. I can get books from the house. Cool. I can get cake. Cool. I don't need to move. Those stairs never getting touched. Don't care.
But yeah, I think obviously we have like that kind of push for things. And yeah, let's talk about the house actually, because the house is incredible. The house, the fact that like Nesta needed a friend and she made the house and just
She made the house
yeah.
that gave her books and gave her smut and then helped her get like army books and got her chocolate and then didn't put on a fire and heat. Oh, I loved that house, man.
I know.
One of my
Also let's
favorite characters in this book.
yeah, definitely,
I
definitely.
don't know if the house is meant to actually have a character, but if that house isn't listed on people's like top 5 characters in this book, I don't know what they read.
The house has a good taste in books. Yeah, the house was incredible in the fact that like it just came out of nowhere and it did exactly what Nest needed and it like supported all of them. And then the little sleepover where they're just like, we just want to do like all of the dumb shit, and the house is like, yeah, fuck it, let's do it.
I
Like,
just loved it. And then she's like, oh, right. So, no, wait, I actually brought us something. I didn't expect to have a house that would entertain us.
yeah.
I was like, oh, bitch, man, all of us would love that.
So
Like,
yeah, I think there's a couple of things that we can go down, but I think because we're already starting with this, and let's talk about the friendships in this. Um, we have Emery and Gwyn,
yeah.
who are just incredible, and I love that you get these three quite broken females, and they just have this bond, and I love them so much, and the fact that they just become the Valkyries. And when when they're right, there's the chapter about them renewing the Valkyrie, and I'm just like, no, please, like, I love them so much. I love them so much.
Can
Um,
we talk about Nesta's charm on the bracelets that they
yeah,
made, pointing them in the right direction of each other because she promised and swore that they'd always find each other?
I know.
Honestly,
Like,
you have no idea.
I think it's beautiful because obviously in the rest of the series, Feyre kind of found a family, and her sisters kind of had just had to kind of go with it. But what I think was really, really beautiful was Sarah J. Maas didn't try and like force their family onto Nesta. And knowing Nesta wouldn't ever want that. But the fact that she essentially did what the Bat Boys have and give her like the a sisterhood in a completely different way. And it's like Sarah J. Maas is fantastic at found family. We know this, but it's just in such a different way this time than like Aelin or Feyre got.
Yeah.
Like Feyre got put into the middle of a family. Aelin found her family and just gathered people.
You're
Um,
all mine now.
and and the fact that we've got like this really, really beautiful sisterhood, I think, is just absolutely spectacular. And it was just really, really well done. And I really, really appreciate what we saw with this.
I
Um,
loved how you slowly got like information as they opened up. You got it. Like we found out with Nesta. Like
yeah,
yes, you knew that had her like her wings bound by her dad or broken. Cut? Can't remember what the right term is. Um and like we knew that Gwen had obviously had something that Az had like found her for because she was at the library, but we didn't know really more. Like nobody opened up. And then while they were all like in the yeah, gotta catch them all. Um, like the fact that they found each other and then they were like, this is gonna be shit. Let's just like put everything out there so we know what we're protecting, and then being like, yeah, it makes no difference.
yeah. I
I
I
love the
think
three of them.
I think one of the best things about this book is Nesta doesn't stop being a bitch. In the best way. Because I feel as if like, because like let's be real, when you look back at Farah was never like a good person. I think it's really interesting to see her, how she is perceived by Nesta and how she's perceived by Cassian, because Cassian can't see anything bad about her because Reese's mate. Reese is this like the best person ever. So like he is very much like, I will protect this woman. If she's good enough for my brother, she's good enough. And then you've got Nesta, who like you realize throughout this book that the reason that Nesta's kept her at such an arm's length is because she doesn't like despise Farah, but kind of despises her because Farah was strong enough to kind of go out there and save them and help them and this, that, and the other. And I think that's one of the things that's really, really interesting to see, because you see the perspective shift. I know Becca's thoughts on Farah and Rhysand very much changed after this book. But I think it's really interesting to see that, and also the vulnerability that Nesta has. You see her like admitting all of these things in her head, and the reason that she's so cold is because she doesn't want to say it out loud. Because if she says it out loud, then people are going to know, and this, that, and the other. And I think there's a lot of like very relatable things that Nesta has to like. How many times do you like have we all sat there and gone, oh my god, like I absolutely hate this quality in me. People aren't going to love me, people aren't going to like me, like all of my friends are going to leave, and this, that, and the other, and spiral. Like it's very, very easy to go down that road, and I do that quite often. Like the amount of times that I turn around to Becca and I'm like, why are you with me? And she goes, why are you with me? And I'm like, don't change my logic onto you, because that doesn't make sense. But I think seeing like Nesta, especially like in the points where um she's talking to Cassian and saying, "Oh, I'm gonna be his wife." What's his name? The one from Autumn Court. Um, Eris.
Eris?
Eris, and we're gonna call him Eris. If it's not Eris,
Yeah.
then
No, it is Eris.
so
Aaron's son.
when she's like, we are meant for each other. We're both horrible people. We don't like, you don't deserve me. And it's like, fucking hell. Okay. Like, just because you don't think you deserve love does not mean that you do not deserve love. Like,
Yep. There were tears in this book.
yeah.
And that's from me, guys.
This was cute. This was cute.
Yeah.
Nesta is a mood. The
Yes,
fact
she
that
is.
Sarah even admitted to Cassian that she had moments as bad as Nesta. Yeah, I think when you look back at what Farah did, in the sense of looking in that mirror and seeing the worst parts of her, like we know that Farah is very self-aware. We know that she thingy, but it's interesting to see her from someone else's perspective and not in her own head, because
Yeah.
we've seen the worst parts of Farah, but seeing people not see that is really interesting, I think. My main issue is that people hate Nesta because she didn't hide her trauma quietly like Elaine. She's hiding and she's open and she's loud and angry about it. Yeah, 100%. And I think it's again one of the things that I love Sarah J. Maas for is she's phenomenal at writing trauma. She's phenomenal at writing all of these people who have severe trauma and pain and all of this stuff. But it's never the same.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
we've said it before in the sense of Aelin and Farah's traumas was never the same. And then you get this, and
Which is
Nesta's
even like
so
different
angry.
from like even Manon wasn't the same type of angry as this.
Yeah, it's phenomenal. She's so good at writing this stuff. Nesta is so stubborn and she's adamant her father would have to save them, but because Farah did she felt Farah didn't force her father's hand, maybe resents her. I don't even think it was that. I think she like I see what you're saying. I think it's more like yeah, I'm trying to think of how to word it, but I think she doesn't like, it's not even just that, it's very much like Feyre went out and did that shit, and Feyre wasn't going to just like bow to Nesta. And I think Nesta was very used to people bowing
People
to her,
bowing.
and Feyre was not going to do that. And obviously, she was isolated by their mother. Like their mother turned around and went, you're my project," and obviously, it's just awful.
I did find it interesting seeing Nesta with Tamlin. I know that that's not really on the subject of like friendships and shit, but her seeing Tamlin and being like, I don't care that like Fair loved you, you are not worthy of her. Like, considering how awkward her and Fair were at that point, just even seeing that, yes, she was still harsh and prickly and she didn't really know how to open up and like tell everyone what she was actually thinking. She still loved Fair enough to be like, no, Reese is better. Like, me and Reese may have like growls and standoffs and, you know, glare at each other and all that other crap. But I don't think she ever didn't want the best for Feyre.
Yeah, I
Even if she
think so.
did, you know, she thought she was going to marry a prince or whatever.
Well, it's the whole thing of like she turned around and said, "Don't come back here. Like be with your fairy prince." Like in book one,
Yeah.
like
And then she was
Nesta,
like, actually, you're shit. You were
yeah,
not worth. Like, I did
yeah.
love that from
I
book
think
one to this, her being like, actually, Tamlin, get a grip of yourself.
yeah,
Like,
but like
prancing around as a deer.
we all think this, so yeah. Seeing Fenrir and Risa not through some each other's rose tinted glasses was an eye opener. But I think I don't dislike them as much. But I think that like you have that truthfulness in it. I think like
Especially when you don't hear their silent conversations this time.
yeah,
Like, you just hear what the public hears, and then the reaction. Like, it's interesting knowing that there's always other conversations happening.
I'm very curious where this is going to go because I think there's two more books that are thingies.
Nesta's. Like, this trilogy.
So yeah, so it's not going to be Nesta's.
Is it different people from each one?
So I think we think it's going to be Elaine's and I think Moore's, which
Ooh.
I'm hyped about because
Ooh.
gay.
Gimme. Grabby fingers.
I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure that there's going to be an As book, and we think that that's going to be Elaine, but it might not be. I'm just saying there's some whisperings of other parents, and then I'm pretty sure Moore's potentially one as well, which is why she was kind of a little bit distracted and not here in this book, which I really hope she's in there because I would like some lovely lesbians, or at least some
Agreed.
like
I
queer.
have an inkling of who she could end up with from
Yeah,
things that were
same.
mentioned in this.
Yeah,
And
same.
I hope
I did not catch it the first time, and then I saw it this time, and I was like, yes,
I caught it as soon as it happened, and I was like, bitch, yes, please.
and especially because if we're
And then
thinking
it
about
didn't
the
go
same people,
anywhere.
and if we're thinking about the same people, because Mo did say, "Do you mind if I train with you? I never got to train with Valkyries before," and I was like, "Yes, please."
Yes, you are thinking of exactly the same person as me, because Emery specifically said that Moore was pretty
Yeah,
and something along that lines, and I was like, I
yeah,
pick you up. I know about Moore. I was like,
yeah. It frustrates me so much. Eris, yeah. Tears, there were rivers. Nessa's character hits home hard to me. This book made me sob, and I never cry at books. Yeah, it's a difficult book. This was not the book to read this week. I'm not gonna lie, but
was folding clothes and started crying.
I was just yeah. Oh my god, yeah.
This
I sometimes wonder how SGM reads my brain so well. I think it's one of the things. I think people think that we read it for the fairy porn. We don't. We read it for the trauma porn. Um, okay, you need
and
the
the understanding.
I got Aylin's fears. I understand Feyre's complacency and I relate to Nesta's anger and pain. Yeah. Nesta went for Feyre when she was taken. Yeah, 100%. Also, yeah. this was fucked. This was actually like so fucked.
So I was pissed at him at this, and then I was pissed at him from trying to keep shit from Nesta. And then I read the add-on chapters, and I got even more pissed off.
I don't remember the add-on chapters. I think I've only read one of them because I'd struggle to read anything that's not if it's like photos taken, so I haven't read them. But
That's fair.
the thing is, the fact that they all got so angry at Nesta for telling Farah the truth,
And
like
it's her sister. Like,
and the fact that Nesta felt so like it was a huge betrayal, and I was like, no, fuck off. My thing is, I am very much the type of person. I have been not lied to, but things have been kept from me for a long time in the sense of because for your own good, to make sure you didn't hurt you, this, that, and the other. And I have always said that, like, I don't care how much it hurts me. I need to know the truth because it upsets me more if I don't know the truth.
my brain
And
can work through it if I know.
yeah, and
I have more time to process.
I think the fact that he was trying to protect her, it's bullshit. It's arrogant to think that you can't do that. It's her body. She has a right to know.
Especially when they've done what they've done and said that they'll die together.
And the thing
Like,
is, I think as well, like going, like kind of going forward to the end of the book when she's in that really vulnerable state where she's about to die. I think what's even worse is had she not known in that point, how much more scared would she have been? She understood what was going to happen and she was like, it's okay, let's do this. And then if she hadn't known what was going on, can you imagine how no, I don't know.
no,
I
we're
don't.
not going there.
And also like I'm going to say this nicely. Fuck all of them because it wasn't just Reese. Reese turned around and said, "We're not talking about this," and they all agreed.
Yeah.
That's on them. That's on them as well. I'm not saying that Reese is not doesn't need a whole
Spearheading it,
accountability
yeah.
because 100% he was in the wrong for doing that shit. But also, all of the others need to fucking get in the bin a little bit.
Yeah. At least I agree with, or I appreciated that Kaz and Farah wouldn't keep it from Nesta.
Yeah.
Like, I don't like that Cassian kept it from Farah, but at least, like, I'm glad that Nesta came out and like Cassian told Nesta and Nesta told her. Like, I know that the situation that happened wasn't good, the way it came about, but basically as soon as she basically got pissed off, she told her.
Yeah.
I don't think they spoke much in between her finding out and then her seeing her and getting like all riled up though.
No. I also think that like it just I'm not going into it because it just gets me angry.
Yeah.
But want the lesbian book. It better go canon. Yeah.
So this is also, I think, about the add-on chapter.
Yeah, I vaguely know what happened in that, but I don't really know what happened in that, and I'm just
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I will say though, that it falls into one of my least favorite tropes of the woman having to give up her power to save the day.
Yep.
Stop.
But the mother wouldn't let her give it all up.
Yeah, but that's the same as how Aelin has a little thing of fire left.
Yeah.
It's bullshit. Like, let women be powerful and strong. I don't like it. It really annoys me. I love the fact she did it. I really appreciate the end of it. I'm like, but the tropes fucked. I hate it. It's so misogynistic. I just want some badass like female characters who stay badass. And whilst
Nesta is definitely still badass, but yes, she lost her power,
it's the same as Aelin's still an assassin. Like,
yeah.
but the whole build up was her having the firepower, and it just annoys me. It just annoys me. Like, do I think that that's the end of her powers? No, but just don't ruin character. It just ruins it for me. Yeah, it's horrendous. He knows how strong Feyre is, what she has overcome, and yet hides that from her. I was so pissed off. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
Agreed.
He had no right. He had no right. It's her body. It's her body. At the end of the day, he has no right to make a decision about her body without her consent about it. Um, we yeah. It makes me angry. Doesn't matter what reason Nesta told her sister the way she did. She told her sister because at the end of the day, she won't allow her sister to be fucked over 100%. So yeah, we've got that. I'm trying to think of what else we can talk about because I want to talk about something happier.
You want to speak about
Something a bit happier than us just being angry at people having control over other women's bodies.
Yes,
Sadly,
that's fair.
there's a lot of fucking trauma around that in this one. So let's talk about something that's not absolutely great and does have something similar, but not as bad.
As bad.
I wouldn't say as bad because it's still fucking horrendous. Let's talk about the right.
Yeah.
Um,
Let's talk about the training is on the way up to Valkyries first.
yeah, let's do that.
So I love the fact one of my favorite scenes is the fact that Nesta gets told off for practicing in the stacks as a way to get Clotho to get Cassian to come and tell her off so that she can make Cassian director so that the other priestesses can see it so that they can decide if they want to train or not. The woman is a mastermind.
I
Like,
think it's really intelligent and it's really good because she doesn't do anything where she's not going to them and saying you need to train. She's not going and turning around and saying this is what you can learn. She is turning around and going, I understand you have anxiety around males. Look at how strong he's making me.
and look at how he's touching me, and look at how respectful he's being, and look at the tone he's using.
Yeah.
Like, every single thing. And the fact that Cassian, bless him, didn't have an inkling that it was happening.
He is a dumb boy and I love him.
He's just awesome. I love him so much. And the fact that it then became her and, like, Win. And then they managed to get Emery. And then slowly they managed to get some more. So Az had to join in because they were now behind where they were. And I was like, oh my God, I was like totally expecting more. But I just love that you just saw him like standing there with his shadows. And I was like, I need more of his POV.
I also love the fact that she fully fucking bribed Emery with herbs and spices. Like
Yep.
the person who loves cooking in me was just like, cheers to that.
Yeah. I loved it so much. I just love that they were so adamant she was going to train, but she wouldn't let him train her where everybody would just mock her and like pull her apart when she had to learn. I just
think,
love that eventually it twigged in his head that it was that. And as soon as they moved somewhere else where it was just them,
but
everything
also,
changed.
and I don't mean this awfully, but like, why the fuck did they think that it was ever going to work with the Illyrians? Because the Illyrians
I
are
don't know. They're
kids.
assholes. They're
They're awful
assholes.
people. Yeah. So I loved when he twigged. I loved that she got like friendships.
And
Yeah.
then this obviously Gwen doing the shit for the wifey who's looking up the Valkyries and like compiling their histories. And then they were like, right, it's obviously meditation of some equivalent, like setting your brain and like trying to breathe and do all that stuff. And then it was like they searched into more and he was like, well, you better give me your stuff so that I can learn it so that I can train you guys. And I was just like, you're so cute. And then suddenly there was like a ribbon.
Yeah.
And I was like,
The ribbon was great. I also loved the fact that at the end it was an obstacle course. It was just an obstacle course. It's fine. And then suddenly it was like, oh, it's just you three. And then it's like, oh yeah, no, basically you're in the qualifier for the right. Like this is the shit that, and they were like, we weren't going to tell you, but like, and it's at that moment that they're like, oh shit, we actually did really well. Like I love it. And then we come to the right, and first off, fuck all of the
Fuck
Illyrians.
them all.
Because
Other than the guy who helped save
I'm
Gwyn,
really curious.
he has to show up again. There's no
Yeah,
fucking way somebody this nice
I
in the
feel as if,
right
especially because
is.
he's playing the politics. He's playing the politics. I'm really
Yeah,
curious where he
I
comes
can't
back
think
into
what his
it.
name was, but you guys know who I'm on
Began with
about.
B.
Was it the start of part 4?
I can't fucking remember.
Where is the start of
I
part
only read
4?
it a couple of hours ago. I don't. I'm not going to try and look. It began with B. That's all I know. But yeah, I think not only is this book adult in the nature of the smutty scenes, I think there was a lot of heavy trauma in this book that I'd pushed out my brain. So like obviously there's a lot of discussion about sexual assault, which like was heavy and don't want to go into it too heavily because I don't want to trigger people. But what I did appreciate with Sarah J. Maas is she never invalidated anyone's trauma. She never let any of her main cast invalidate anyone's trauma, and she never let anyone like they literally will like to the point where Reese turned around to Nesta and said, please be nice to Gwyn because he knew what she'd gone through.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. He's still a dick for other things he's done in this book, but like we appreciate that he understood how severe it was.
She got pulled into the water by a kelpie. Sorry,
She
my brain
did.
just flagged
That's
on
a
that.
very, very different scene.
And Az got shot by an ash arrow.
He did get shot by an ash arrow.
I wanted to hit people. I was driving at that point, so could not. Just a heads up.
She got pulled into the water by a kelpie. We have new magic items.
Trove?
And yeah, the trove. And I think that is the main thing that kind of felt a little bit valid, Emma. I think that was the thing that I was like, this feels a bit too much at the end of after having like them go through so much trauma in the first couple of books, especially Wings and Ruin. Like there was a lot going on, but
Yeah.
we don't know what's happening in the next couple of books, so we can't really go forward with it just yet. And hopefully Balthazar.
I found his name.
Nice.
Also, it's very bizarre to me being at the place the same as you guys. Like, with Kingdom of Ash, we got to the end of a series, and you guys were like, we knew everything. Like, here you go. Have this amazing series on a plate. But with this one, you guys don't know fuck all more than I do now. And now I'm sad.
We know nothing else.
Oh, no. I need more.
Okay, so let's... Is there anything else we need to talk about? We've talked about the Trove. We've talked about...
There's apparently... I don't know what the fuck Lucian's doing in his little happy house with Vasa.
And this is the thing, like I feel as if we've got a lot of feelers out in the sense of we've got a lot of shit going on. And we can now technically talk about theories, which is interesting because I don't know what's going to happen. So there's a lot of theories about who Elaine's going to end up with. Because obviously she has a mate, but there is a scene. There is also a theory. What are you going to say there?
Is that the scene that is the additional one that we were on about with? Yeah, okay. So I had a question. So if Az went for her because he had a mate, obviously blood right, die or death, whatever. But if Elaine says no, how does that work? Like, can Lucian still get pissed off and do it even if Elaine's saying no?
I mean, I don't know. I
don't know either. Because there was a scene in this that made me go, huh, Az, okay. Like at winter solstice, like it was exactly before the added scene. And I was like, I wonder how the fuck that'll work. And then I don't know. Like, I feel like she hasn't given Lucian a chance. I
Um,
get that a lot of shit has happened.
so there is another theory, and it might be a batshit theory, but it's still a theory.
Give
And
me it.
there is a theory out there that Lucian, being the type of person who wanted to protect Tamlin, knew that Elaine and Tamlin were mates and took that on to hide the fact that they are mates. Because if you think about how Elaine is with her flowers and spring and light and wee, um, there is a lot of talk on like TikTok and stuff like that that they are actually mates, and Lucian just did that to protect Tamlin. We don't know. There is every chance that that's bullshit. But like
I
she's
think I like
literally
Lucian better than Tamlin, though.
well, yeah, but we've there is also the kind of talk of if we can give Nesta a redemption arc, we can give Tamlin a redemption arc.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm not saying that I know that a lot of people don't want that, but I don't know. I don't know. Um so yeah, there's that. Obviously, we know More is queer.
Yep.
And we know that there's kind of hints of what that could potentially be. Um, but there's not a lot that we know. And I don't know where it's going. I genuinely don't. I don't want to theorize too much. I did see a really, really batshit theory, which I'm not even going to go into detail on. This is what I meant by there's some people who don't want this. Um, there is a batshit theory that I saw, and someone turned around and went, "This isn't real. This is just a genuine, like, batshit theory." Um, this I want to know what this is because, like, there's something there, and I really want to know. I'm wondering. I want to know if Moore and Eris are both like the opposite of beards for each other.
Yeah.
In the sense of he found out that she was queer and she found out he was queer, and that's why they aren't together and this, that, and the other. I don't know. But
I also wonder if somebody else hurt more and
yeah,
Eris saved her and dumped her somewhere safe
yeah,
and
potentially.
has taken like the heat of that from like Cassian and Azinco. And that's why Morris never let them like beat him up. I wonder if it's something like he got her out as best he could.
I don't know.
Um I don't know either. And for
We'll
once,
find
you
out.
genuinely don't.
No, we don't. I don't even know if there's like a date. Does anyone know if there's a date? Um, Sarah J. Maas. I'm just having a look on Goodreads to see if there is any even hint of a date. There probably isn't.
I am very sad though that this one has ribbons. Like the rest of the series all don't have something on the spine. Becca says there is not.
Oh, boo. Becca would know. Becca works for Publisher.
Sorry, I got a cat.
How dare.
I know.
But no,
Right.
I'm very, very curious to see where this goes. And yeah, I will tell you the batshit crazy theory that was told, and I will tell anyone who wants to know it, but I'm not saying it on live because it makes me feel a little bit grim.
Oh
Um,
no. Fair.
but yeah. I
Um
don't have a lot to say about this book. It's trauma, it's porn.
it definitely we have a little boy called Nix. I
We
feel like Nick
we
should
haven't
get
talked
at
about
least
the baby.
I feel like Nick should at least get like a minute of time.
He's just
I'm
bugger.
excited. He's gonna be a very loved boy.
He is. He's also going to be very protected and very spoiled.
He's gonna be a demon. He's gonna be like shown how. Oh my god! Can you imagine his first snowball fight? Sorry.
uh,
Also, him leaving Nesta because he was running late for the snowball fight, and she was like, "You have a snowball fight?" And he was like, "I'll tell you about it at some point." Oh, they went back to her cottage.
They did go back. The fact that
Sorry.
she took one of the carvings and
There's
yeah,
so much trauma in this book, man.
yeah.
There.
Yeah, that's valid.
Yes.
Yeah. I think it's going to be hilarious him flying for the first time because I can totally imagine them all running with a little net underneath him just like always going this way, always going that way. Um I'm very excited to see what lies in store
I
for
also love the Noomniks.
yeah. Yeah. Um
It's
Obviously
very fitting.
we don't get to see a lot of Nyx. It's
We
also
do
really
not.
interesting that when when Feyre went to see about she saw the face of her child, and it's a very different child. Like, I'm very, very curious. Like, is there more children in her future? We don't know. It is going to be a menace.
Yep.
Yeah,
Also, the fact that Nesta saw to like shift herself so that if she wants to have kids, she doesn't need to worry, or when they have kids. But like the fact that she thought to quickly do it before like it was over.
smarter, not harder.
I
Literally.
know, right? Literally, yeah. For once.
I I don't think I've got anything else to say. Oh, Nesta's dancing. I feel like we need to talk about that because it was something that we didn't get to see, and I also love the fact that like Sarah J. Maas has all of her badass females have some form of hobby. So Aelin had her music, and like Feyre has her painting, and Nesta's a dancer. I just love that they're all slightly different, but it's all like just a beauty. Oh, and obviously you've got Elaine. Like, don't get me wrong, Elaine's boring as anything until we get her book. But Elaine's got her garden
Garden. I
that
do
she
love that Elaine was like, "Oh yeah, she can dance." And they were like, "What?" And she's like, "Oh yeah, she loves music. She's a really good dancer." And like is totally underplaying it this whole time. And they're like, "Oh, maybe we can work with that. Like we
I
can
mean,
kind
she
of do it."
doesn't underplay it. She literally says, "Oh, there was a duke who
Yeah, but then I love that
proposed
later on
marriage."
in Cassian's mind, it's like she undersold it. And I'm like, dude, the woman literally told you it was one dance to have a duke propose at 14. Like, what do you think is gonna happen?
This, like the way that dance was described, phenomenal. Like, oh, love it.
I can't even
Um,
see shit in my head, and I could see that because I can dance. Like, that
yeah,
was good. I can picture waltzes. This book
phenomenal.
made me very happy. I do still think I think this and book 3 are kind of on par. I
I
like the plot in book 3, but I like
I'm
that this is
still a
Nesta and Cassian because they were been like I've been craving the two of them to like get their act together for 5 books.
fair. I'm still a um book two girly.
That's fair.
I'm still a book two girly.
I
But
think
yeah,
book 1 is still my least favorite.
yeah, oh, 100%. It's the worst out of the lot of them. It's the worst out of the lot of them. Um, but yeah, I think we're done. Unless there's
Thanks for
anyone,
this journey.
unless anyone's got anything else they want to say,
Anybody have any thoughts
please remember
of
no spoilers for future books. Obviously, we have read the first two series. If you've got anything about any of the previous ones, we will or the later books, please don't put them in the chat because Tori's not read anything and we want to make sure she stays spoiler free for the coming series.
last one,
Um
guys? But yeah, I was just gonna say, did I say anything in the past few lives for this series that you guys went, wait, other than book 1, because we are aware that book 1 is
I think
off the cards.
I can't remember, I'm not gonna lie. Not that off the top of my head, I don't think there's much for this as you were for like when there was stuff going on in Throne of Glass. Like so far, I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Um.
Get up and go
Oh.
get our own shit.
I'm on live. Apparently, I got a Fairy Loot parcel.
Nice. Please be careful of not putting your address on the camera, please.
Yeah, I've turned it.
Yeah, valid. But I think so the next one we're going into a new series
Again.
I
know.
And this one's only 3 books.
Is it 3 and done or 3 and still going?
3 in I think, right, to kind of hint at stuff, there are 4 main houses in the world.
Okay.
And there's 3 books named after 3 of the houses. So we
4.
assume there's going to be more. But it like kind of in the same vein as ACOTAR, ACOMAF, and ACO War had a nice little neat ending.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Okay.
But
all I know is there's a character called Bryce. That's what I'm going into it with.
Don't go looking for anything.
I haven't. Come on now. How many books in are we?
No, I know.
12?
I'm just saying,
12? No. 13? I don't know.
Yeah, we don't know. We know not very much. But yeah, the lives will kind of be going back to normal next month. I do apologize for last. Yeah. Don't read any last pages or
No,
yeah.
I don't.
Good. If you
I'm not Vicky. Vicky, on the other hand, we need to yell at.
If you need page counts, ask someone safe and they will go and have a look at how many pages are in the book.
It's okay. It's 800 and 805.
Nice.
To scare anyone who didn't need to know that.
But yeah, apologies, guys, that this one is a bit late. Obviously, life
happened last month.
Yeah, don't read the blurb. Yeah, just go into it blind. Yeah. But yeah, last month was things went a bit nuts for me, and I know Tori was feeling it a bit as well. So thank you. We appreciate everyone for like coming out and being patient with us. Look after your mental health, which is hilarious because we aren't with this trauma. But yeah, obviously everyone's going through a lot of stuff, and you never know what people are going through. So thank you for being patient with us, and hopefully we will be back on it normally 100%. And hopefully like by this time next month we will be back on the normal one, and we only have 3 more books to go, guys, and then we are caught up with the Maasalong journey.
That's terrifying.
It is.
I don't know what I'm going to do when I've only got like one like little book. Like all of Maria's books are like 450 max. What am I going to do?
Find
like
more
2
books
of these.
just reread them.
Could do. Start at the start. Just work through again.
Just go through it all. But yeah, we are going to head off, guys. So thank you very much for joining, and we'll see you next time. Bye.